handicap this, though, the rest of the season? Look in that crystal ball. What do you see?
Well, we were talking about Georgia and Alabama could both get into the playoff. Now that focus shifts to the ACC. Can Miami and Clemson both get in? With Miami playing the way they are, assuming that they don't stumble, they have Virginia and Pitt left in the regular season, and then a matchup with Clemson. I think Miami might be the number one team in the land when they talk about this next poll coming out. I mean, that was an impressive win over an impressive team. They're the undefeated team. They and Alabama, they look better than Alabama in this particular weekend. People are going to be concerned about Alabama's depth, as we just talked about. If you put Miami up there at the 1 or 2 spot, then you've got Clemson. Do they move to 3? And if they play a spirited game in Charlotte, I just think you're going to be looking at the possibility of maybe 2 ACC teams. And who would have thought that a few weeks ago when Clemson went down to Syracuse?
He's Rick Neuheisel, Continental Tire Coach's Corner, the CBS college football analyst. But if I look at some of these other teams, give me somebody outside of the top 10. I asked this to Kirk Herbstreit last week. He said Michigan State. And then that didn't last very long. So do you have a dark horse here?
USC. I think the Trojans are kind of sneaking around the chicken coop here. They have found a way. Now, we saw what happens when you take one on the Virginia Tech, for instance, was kind of that dark horse, that sexy dark horse a few weeks ago. They get one on the chin by Miami, and then they stumble again. Georgia Tech getting them this last week. USC took one on the chin in South Bend, and it was a game that everybody thought Arizona State was gonna get them. They had them in the desert. They had them wounded, and they went there and played maybe their best football game and have played terrifically. They clinched the South. They're going to get a chance to finish off the Bruins this week. Then they go and get a week off before the championship game. If they play well against whether it's Washington State, Stanford, or Washington, if they whip them, I wouldn't be surprised for them to get a lot of favor and maybe slide into that 4 spot.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.